Well, I started out as a hard Southern Baptist minister when I was 15 years old. I just felt like this is what Jesus has called me to do. My early life was kind of chaotic, so when I found religion, I found it in a Southern Baptist church and gave my heart to Jesus when I was 9. And as I became a teenager, became much more serious about it. So at 15, I announced that I was going to, announced my call to preach. And I thought that would mean I'd have time to study and maybe go to seminary, but my pastor at the time, of course this was a Southern Baptist backwoods church that they didn't care if you had education or not. No, if you've got a call, we want you up next Sunday. And so I started preaching real emotionally charged, hammer them out, scare the hell out of people, jump every pew, that kind of preaching. I did that from about the age of 15 up to about 25. Then I started getting interested in wanting to be more serious about my faith. I didn't know what apologetics or Reformed theology or those kind of things were at that time, but I started to delve into that. And I saw in Reformed theology kind of a sophistication that appealed to my mind, because I thought, well, I always enjoyed learning and I love history, I love philosophy, but Reformed theology really was an area that fascinated me, and I saw that you could have interesting theological understandings and they actually be cogent and not just emotional, just revivalistic. So I went from being Southern Baptist to much more Reformed, so I became a Calvinist in that time period. And there's a larger group of primitive Baptists that are basically Calvinistic. They won't call themselves Calvinistic because they don't like being associated with Presbyterians. But they're basically Calvinists. They may be hyper-Calvinists, but that's what they are. And then in that, I began to reason from that, well, if God's sovereign and nothing can thwart his will, hell doesn't really make a lot of sense, because it would mean he's defeated in some way. So I began to look at the early church, and lo and behold, there's some Universalists there. So began to kind of deconstruct the whole notion of hell. And I had a friend tell me about Primitive Baptist Universalist Church that was close to where I lived, and I was shocked because I thought, I didn't even know these people existed. And then when I began to research them and I visited with them, I thought, wow, this is exactly where I need to be. And then just kind of went from there. It was just embraced that as I guess in my early 30s. Just felt like I finally found where I fit in, and not that they're perfect or don't have their flaws, but it's for the theology, that's where I would fit.